It says, when Ephraim spoke trembling, he exalted himself in Israel. When Ephraim spoke trembling, he exalted himself in Israel. But when he offended through Baal worship, he died. So when Ephraim would speak to the Almighty in prayer in a respectful way, having fear of the Creator and therefore wanting to fulfill His commandments, he exalted himself in Israel. He became great in Israel. But when he offended through Baal worship, he died. Meaning when he started worshiping the Lord, because remember that Lord in in Hebrew is Baal. Baal in English is Lord. So, but when he offended through worshiping the Lord, he died. Showing how the worship of the false Messiah, who they call the Lord, and is Baal, is what will cause them to die in the Great Tribulation. When Ephraim spoke trembling, he exalted himself in Israel, but when he offended through Baal worship, he died. Now they sin more and more. Now they even believe that Baal is the creator of all things, so they sin more and more. They worship him more and more. Now they sin more and more and have made for themselves molded images. As we see in Catholicism a lot, of course, a lot of molded images being worshipped by the people who claim to believe in the scriptures, which makes no sense. For the second commandment is not to do that. Now they sin more and more and have made for themselves molded images, idols of their silver according to their skill. In the literal meaning, they have used silver, the metal, to make shapes according to their skill. Depending on how good they are, that's how nice they come out and whatever. But in the spiritual sense, idols of their silver, as in their money, their acquiring power, has become their idol according to their skill, according to what they do as work. Whatever they do for work is what they do to receive money, which they end up worshiping. So a lot of people become workaholic because their job or the money they receive through that job is their idol, and have made for themselves molded images, idols of their silver according to their skill. All of it is the work of craftsmen. They say of them, let the men who sacrifice kiss the calves. Just like when they go to the Vatican and they have an image of Jupiter, which now became Peter, meaning they believe is Peter, but it was back in the day the image of Jupiter, Zeus. And as I always say, it's interesting that they call themselves Jewish or Jews, and according to that term, Peter would be a Jew. So Jupiter is very much what that image is. Jupiter, the planet, Lucifer, Halel, that fallen angel, which they worship as the Jew Peter. So when they go and see that image, they kiss the feet of that image. And not only that image, a bunch of other images that they worship, most of the time they worship it by giving a kiss to it. Just like they also in Judaism kiss the mezuzot or the mezuzah that they put at the side of the door, so when they come out or come in, they kiss the mezuzah, and that is a form of idolatry. Therefore they shall be let the men who sacrifice kiss the calves. They would worship 2 calves that Israel made for them not to go to the temple, so that they would worship those calves instead in the land where they were. And they would say, let the men who sacrifice kiss the calves, as a sign of love and affection for the idol. Therefore They shall be like the morning cloud which passes. So Yahweh is saying, because of the way they have acted, they will pass away. Therefore they shall be like the morning cloud, and like the early dew that passes away, like chaff blown off from a threshing floor, and like smoke from a chimney. It just goes with the wind. And we just read in the previous chapter how Ephraim goes after wind. Like the chaff blown off from a threshing floor. When the Almighty gets the wheat during the harvest, there will be a lot of people who will just fall to the ground because they are not actually fruit. They are just chaff that will be blown off from the threshing floor when the harvest happens. And like smoke from a chimney through the test of the fire, they will just go away in smoke, being the last the fire, the consuming fire, while Yahushua the first is the water of life.